welcome to our educational series on South Asian mental health. Coming out is a process that requires courage and the support of family and community. Our South Asian culture emphasizes the importance of family. Therefore, we must come together to lift and support our LGBTQ family members. To learn more about resources that are available, we continue our discussion with Dr. Sudha Wadhwani in part 3 of our video series. Dr. Wadhwani obtained her doctorate in clinical psychology from the Rutgers Graduate School of Applied and Professional Psychology in 2000. She's a New Jersey licensed psychologist and coordinator of outreach and prevention at Montclair State University Counseling and Psychological Services, where she runs a coming out support group. She maintains a private practice in Montclair, New Jersey. She specializes in working with South Asian individuals and families, LGBTQ issues across cultures, women of color, as well as issues of acculturation and intergenerational conflicts. Dr. Wadhwani is on the advisory panel of SAMHIN and advises on the issues of youth, diversity, and LGBTQ.
So what tips and resources do you have for someone who is LGBT and perhaps even a family member who may have an LGBT person in their family?
Well, as a family member, I think it's very important to not make assumptions, show openness through the pronouns that you use. Also, be mindful of subtle and direct judgments that you may make, say, of characters in a TV show, people in the media. You can convey that you are someone who is non-judgmental and someone who is safe for your family member to come to or come out to. Okay, so be mindful of and aware of any disapproval that you may have and check that. Okay. Another thing I think that is very critical is, and I can't emphasize enough, that being gay is not a choice or a preference. It is an identity. It is who someone is, just like being straight. Okay, or heterosexual. Okay, so it's important to keep this in mind as you talk to your loved one, that it's not a choice. So just be with the man and get married, and that's that. It's not simple like that. Okay? It's negating somebody's identity and self, your full self. Okay, convey openness also by allowing your child or family member to use their preferred name, dress the way they prefer to dress. It may be in not traditional attire for your given sex or gender. They may be exploring, children often go through different phases and stages, or they may be exploring and it may be something very real. You don't know that. Allow them to be who they are. Allow them to express themselves as they choose to express themselves. Another important thing I want to convey is how important it is to meet someone where they are in their coming out process and to not out them in any way. I think it's important, especially, in our collectivist culture, with our closeness to family, aunties, uncles, neighbors, cousins, everybody is family. we don't know that person's judgments. We don't know who they are going to tell. 100%, it is up to that individual, even if it's your child, it is up to that person to determine who they come out to and when. And that is no one's choice. I'm a mother, I am a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a cousin. It is not my place to out anyone else. It is only their place. I may ask and convey support, and I may ask how I can help them do that. If they would like me to share their identity, say with their grandmother or whatnot, that is their choice, and I would work with them on how they would like me to do that. Okay, so that is critical. Hair, not just attire, hair, jewelry. Let someone express themselves how they choose to. I also so often have worked with clients who feel invalidated by their parents when they have tried to come out to them. When parents may say it's a phase, that can be very invalidating and minimizing. Now, there might be some children for whom it is a phase. Say, often girls may go through a tomboy phase. There are many, gender assumptions and all that I could go into about that. But it feels minimizing and invalidating to someone to hear that when they are in a process of exploring their identity. So be mindful of that. More than anything in terms of tips is to listen and to have empathy. I think there is nothing more important than that. Also, just recognize that your child or family member could be experiencing conflict and confusion themselves. This often is a journey. It is a process of questioning, of confusion. They may not want to go to perhaps a church or a temple that they might not feel comfortable or safe at. They might not want to do certain rituals or engage with certain people who they don't feel comfortable with. You might not know why. So I think it is important to take their lead and create a non-judgmental space where there isn't an atmosphere of potential shame.
Mhm.
I guess there's a lot more to say, but I think that's good for now.
Mhm. Well, it sounds like a lot of the tips that you're offering are ways in which we can be allies to our loved ones. So I think
Exactly.
that's very useful information, and thank you.
Exactly. And, one thing to remember with depression, we had talked earlier about suicide, with suicide prevention. It's when someone feels alone, when someone feels isolated, when someone feels there's a burden, when someone feels ostracized, when someone feels hated or criticized, that can lead them to feel hopeless. It can lead to inner turmoil and inner hatred. I think when someone feels rejected, it can lead to a very deep sense of shame and isolation. One thing we can control, one sure bet tip for suicide prevention, is we can do the opposite of all those things. We can create an empathic, non-judgmental supportive space. And that can help someone feel less alone, less isolated, more proud, more loved and lovable, and in the end, healthy and happy. And it's all about love, in the end, and being there for our young people. And that is suicide prevention, and that we can control.
Are there organizations or resources that may be helpful if someone is looking for more information?
Thank you for asking. It's so important to connect not only our children or family members who are coming out, but also have resources for parents and family members to become educated and share their own reactions and feelings with others in their situations. So for example, parents connecting with other parents, and family members connecting with other family members. We will provide these resources on the SAMHIN website. For college students, I'm proud to say Montclair State University, where I work, is one of the top 25 LGBTQ friendly colleges and universities.
That's a really impressive list. And we will make sure that that is shared on the SAMHIN website. So for more information and additional resources, please check out the SAMHIN website. It's SAMHIN.org. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Dr. Wadhwani, for taking the time to provide your perspective on this important topic. Please visit samhin.org to learn more about SAMHIN's programs and services, as well as resources and tips for the LGBT community.